Good day, welcome back to my neck of the woods. My name's Dika, where I share my experience and knowledge, hoping to lessen your learning curve along the way. So today, I'm going to talk about why you're not seeing deer, part 2. Decided to make another episode of this not seeing deer, a little more in depth than the first one, but I think it touches on some good points. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please sub. Costs you nothing to sub, and obviously you clicked on this for a reason. So if you want to see more things like this, give the channel a sub, please, and thank you. All right, so let's talk about why you're not seeing deer. Now, this does not apply to the people that are seeing deer or the people that see deer all the time. These are the people that are frustrated and they're not seeing deer, and these are just some tips as how you could potentially change your behavior into where you could possibly see more deer. I'm not talking about killing deer, I'm talking about seeing deer. It's a whole another ball of wax. So first off, when you're looking for movement, you want to look for lateral movement. You want to look for movement that's going to be moving side to side. And when you see movement, you want to focus in on the movement, like micromanage the movement. So to give you an example, so you see a squirrel, right? Or you see something moving in the distance, but you don't know what it is. And then after you focus in on it a little bit, you see maybe a flicker of a tail, or you see something move, and then you realize it's a squirrel, or it's a chipmunk, or it was the wind, or whatever it was there. But you want to look for movement that's moving side to side. That's the way a deer moves. A deer does not move up and down. A squirrel, up and down, and you want to look for movement. You want to look for body parts. You don't want to look for an entire deer, because the chances of seeing the entire deer at once it's not going to happen all the time. Deer hide all the time, and if you're going to see them just pop out and be in the middle of nowhere and just pop out and be there, it may or may not happen. So look for lateral movement, I think, and look when you see movement, you just focus in on that movement and you see what's going on with it. And you might see an ear, or you might see a hoof, or you might see a tail flicker, and then the whole picture comes into focus after you see that. But there's a lot of people out there that, I didn't see a deer. I'd be willing to bet if you're in an area where you're hunting over fresh sign and you're getting daytime pictures on your cameras and whatnot, and you're covering your scent and upon other things, my guess is they're there, but you're just not seeing them. I know that's hard to take in, but it may be the truth. All right, secondly, on your approach to your stand or your blind or wherever you're going to hunt or wherever you plan to hunt, you need to go in slow and silent. And sometimes your exit route is not always going to be your entrance route. A lot of times we choose the same path in, same path out. But if the wind changes while you're in the stand or in your blind or whatever, you need to have an alternate route already mapped in your head, saying, all right, well, I came in here and the wind has changed, so I'm going to exit here. You need to have that already planned out, as opposed to just coming in and out, in and out, in and out in the same trail, and you are just wearing down that trail for the sake of the word or whatnot. Now, another thing you want to do is, obviously, you want to go in slow. And sometimes we're going in low light conditions where we can't see all that well. And you want to remove the debris from where you're walking. Now, I try to do this pre-season. A couple days before season, I'll go in, and sometimes I'll even take short of a broom, take a stick, and I will move the leaves off these areas, or big sticks or branches, anything that's going to cause a noise or a crack when I'm walking in. Now, you can't account for everything, but you can clean it up enough that it will make a difference in the long run. All right. I think that's really key. Is your entrance and your exit routes, they need to be quiet, and you need to walk slow. You can walk fast if you can do it slow, but if you can do it silent, but I can't for the most part. So I walk slow and steady, and I just watch where my footing is, and I try to be slow and silent. All right, too much on that. Now, the next one I want to talk about is You want to try to walk in without any artificial light. I know people will have a lot to say about this one, but I firmly believe that the artificial light is a distraction to deer. Now people say, well, you know, you use a red light or you use a blue light or you use a green light, whatever, and that's fine, but it's still something that doesn't belong there. Now you may not deter a deer with a red light, but you may deter something else that may deter a deer, right? So what I try to do is I try to walk in just at first light, or I try to be getting to my stand or my hunting area just at first light. So when I get in and I get settled, within minutes I'm ready to shoot if it's in the morning. You know, and the same thing with leaving. You want to try to leave your area without any artificial light. There's nothing wrong with using, if you're on a main trail or a walking trail or dog walking trail, and using a flashlight on your way in. But on your way to your stand, either take that flashlight and cup it with your hand and just use it as you need it. Let your eyes adjust to the dark and use it as you need it and go on from there. Or shut it off completely and try to go in at very, very low light, slow and steady. It's really not a hard thing to do, but I believe that, I mean, say you walk in with a flashlight and a deer is there. First of all, you can't shoot that deer because it's too dark to shoot, and you may deter that deer from coming back because it's just something foreign that's in there. Food for thought. Now, next is hunting, where you're hunting, your locations of hunting. Now, a lot of times we see deer out in the middle of a field somewhere, you know, and then you'll say, well, I need to hunt there. What you need to do is hunt them on their way into those fields. You need to hunt the edges and you need to hunt transitions. The reason those deer are in the middle of the field is because you're not there. If you pop up a blind in the middle of a field, I think it's a deterrent. It looks like a sore thumb just sticking out in the middle of a field or a flat wooded area or whatnot. You need to brush it in. It needs a backdrop, and you kind of have to brush it in. Like I said, so you want to hunt. Deer are notorious for being like on the edges of transitions. I'm not really sure what the attraction is, but like the edges of swamps, or the edges of where it goes swamps to hardwoods, or where it's like really, really thick cover, and then it might be a field, but they're always on the edges. And I'm not sure if that's for safety, where they feel that they can just run into a different area if they're ever threatened or whatnot. But deer are notorious for being on the edges. So you want to hunt those transitions, field edges, edges of thick, and things like that. I think that will help you see more deer. All right. And lastly, I want to talk about spot burning. Now, when I first started hunting, I hunted the same spot over and over and over and over, and that's all I had. I had one stand out, and I didn't hunt any other spot. Now, I saw some deer, but I think you can burn out a spot. I really do. I think that even if you're covering your scent and you're doing all these tips and tricks and things like that, and you hunt a lot, I hunt a lot, if you come in and out and in and out and in and out, it's just going to cause things that aren't normally there. Unless you're living in the woods, and then it's different from there. But try not to sit the same spot over and over and over. Try to have multiple spots for the wind. And if you say you have one stand, you can only afford one stand, and that's fine. I used to be in that spot. Then choose another option. Make a makeshift ground blind for an alternate wind, or or just sit the ground. There's nothing wrong with sitting the ground. Just use it for an alternate wind. And obviously you want to sort of target those entrance and exit routes, so you can do that. Or you can maybe sit one spot for half of the day and then get a good exit route to your next spot. It's food for thought. It's things that you can do for if you're not seeing deer. And I think these are great examples. Now, if you're seeing deer, that's what we want to see. We want to see deer. All right, that's all I have for you. Please subscribe to the page, like my videos, make some comments, And till next time, I'll see you guys.